Hi, I'm Tom from Pingza. We're talking about food and wine pairing, and this is all about cheese. Cheese is a big subject area. If you think about just one cheese board at Christmas, if you're lucky, there will be just tons of diversity on there. It's going to be quite hard to find one single wine that pairs with all of them. The way cheeses work, just very quickly, is they have fat content, they've got a little bit of protein in there, salts, acidity. As a wine ages, the characteristics, the flavors in it die down and become more subtle. Cheeses do the complete opposite. So as the cheese ages, water begins to leave and they concentrate those salts, those fats, those proteins. So they become more strongly flavored and sharper as they get older. That means that a young cheese is going to need one style of wine with it, and a hard, older cheese is going to need something different. For me, the most important thing to begin with is that red wine is not everyone's favorite friend with cheese. White wine is, in my book, always the way to go. White wine is packed full of acidity, it's fresh, it's lean, and all of that acidity and salt that we talked about that all cheeses harness, that's the perfect pairing. Reds can be a bit of a challenge. If you want to be really good fun, and what I would always recommend doing is going sparkling wine with cheese. If you've got a cheese board with loads of stuff on it and you're not going to be able to pick each individual one out and pair each with a different wine, fizz, with its lean, fresh acidity but lovely texture and body because of the bubbles, is the absolute perfect partner with the majority of cheeses. So give it a go. Talking about hard, aged cheeses, these are the cheeses where the water's begun to evaporate and leave. There's more acidity, there's more salt in these cheeses, and because they're more like that, they need wines that are going to balance it. Crisp, aromatic white wines, those are absolutely ideal here. Something where the acidity complements that in the cheese. If you're going to go red, you need to reduce that tannin down a little bit, go with medium tannin or below reds, and I would try and up the fruitiness of those wines. Thinking about things like Pinot Noir, Gamay from Beaujolais with those low tannins, or, if you want to be really cool with it, something like a Ripasso, Valpolicella, those Italian slightly dried out styles of wines, Amarone, if you've got the budget for it, I don't, that would be the kind of ideal thing with a harder cheese. As cheeses age and they become more hard, some of them become quite nutty. You can also obviously get smoked cheese. So if you've got a cheese on there that's quite hard and nutty, like a manchego, something like that, or perhaps you've got something smoked on the side of it there with quite a pungent characteristic to it, you're going to need a wine to match that. You've got two options as far as I see it. You go oaked white wines with a nice bit of acidity, white Rioja, they make white wine out there too, or, Tom's favourite, get on the sherry. This Palacatado that I picked up from the Wine Society is exactly the kind of thing. Its natural nuttiness and elegant, gentle sweetness is going to pair perfectly with those nutty, smoky cheeses. Soft cheese, my favourite. Massive category, and the best thing to have with this is sparkling wine. It's fizz all day. Acidity to cut through that creamy, soft, lovely, gentle character of these cheeses. If you're going to go still wine, you want Chablis or something like that, something with a bit of aromatics, but enough acidity to cut through the creaminess. Goat's cheeses. Not everybody's favourite, but it doesn't have to be too goaty. More and more and more of these are becoming more elegant and subtle. Flavours are very much lemon, citrusy, herbaceous kind of soft characters. I love them. The other good thing about goat's cheeses, sheep's as well, is that they've got very low lactose levels. And lactose is the really creamy character in a lot of cow's milk cheeses, and that can be a bit more of a challenge for wine. So easy options on wine pairing, go goats and sheep's. Classic pairing here is one that's based on the location and where they come from. The Loire Valley produces loads of beautiful, elegant, creamy, soft goat's cheeses, and the equivalent, perfect to pair with it, aromatic, herbaceous, lemon citrusy Sauvignon Blanc. So the two there would work really, really nicely. Fresh, acidic, herbaceous wine with fresh, acidic, herbaceous cheese. Perfect. Blue cheese. It's not for everybody. Funky, really quite salty, but I love it. My wife absolutely hates it. I'm sure it's exactly the same in your household. Some will love it, some won't. You're going to struggle to find complementary pairings for blue cheeses. All of that salinity is hard to match in a wine. You do find salinity in wines, particularly those made near the coast, but it's always quite minor. So I think do the opposite, go contrasting, pick something really nice and sweet. If you ever have popcorn in the cinema and you go salty and sweet and you combine the two of them, Olivia, my wife, showed me that, you will never go back. It's the best pairing ever. The same applies here. So check out this Montbazillac that I picked up And this is a perfect example of a really nice sweet wine with a blue cheese. The classic pairing is Sauterne from the south of Bordeaux with their blue from down there as well. If you do want to go red, something a bit darker and heavier, port. All day, every day with blue cheeses. It's got sweetness, but it's got packed full of that really nice, big, opulent, dark fruits as well. So it ticks both those boxes. I hope that's a little bit of an introduction to the cheese and wine pairing. It's a complex area of food and wine batching. But if you can get it absolutely right, sometimes it's completely wrong, and that's totally fine. You've still got great cheese, great wine. But when you get it right, both are completely elevated. They both absolutely sing. And really, wine and cheese are made to go together. So cheers, enjoy yourself,